The perfectionist is a pattern of coping with stress that I see very, very commonly. And unfortunately, it's one of the things that are very, very poorly understood, both by the people who are struggling with that and by family members or people that they're close to. And so the way this pattern works is that it becomes very, very binary under stress. And the suffering can be really quite tremendous in terms of if routines or details are not correct, if they're not right, they're experienced as wrong. Now the leap here is that if they are considered to be wrong, that they're then interpreted as dangerous. And so what may be a trivial detail to anyone else, in the experience of someone who deals with stress in this way, is that it can, at lightning speed, switch from if it's not right, it's wrong. If it's wrong, it's dangerous. Now, if something is dangerous, it's going to trigger off that internal alarm where this person could be spinning their wheels. They could have alarm systems going off to the point where they're almost panicking about something. And so the way I often think of it is if there's a fire in a house, it's not a time where you're going to be particularly rational about things. And so the way it's interpreted by everybody else is, why are you making a big deal about where I leave my shoes at the door? Why are you so uptight about the way we clean things in the kitchen, about dishes in the sink, all those sort of small routines around the house? And so if we don't understand this pattern, we can't teach other people the impact that it's having upon us, and that other people are likely to be quite judgmental. Now, one of the struggles for anyone who has this perfectionistic protection mechanism going on is this sense of embarrassment, that there is a disproportional reaction to something which may, from the outside in, appear illogical. And so there's often a tremendous amount of embarrassment or shame around that. And to varying degrees, people have different levels of insight around this. And so what we do with this pattern is that we just, again, embrace the humanity of that chain of events. That if it's not right, it's wrong. If it's wrong, it's dangerous. And so the empowering flip side of that is that, yes, we've got great strength in terms of getting things done and taking care of details. And these people often excel in roles in life where they are in charge of those details because they're going to damn sure make sure that they get it right. And so they can be very, very reliable in those roles. But where we have progress in terms of negotiation is that we empower people to talk about the details of safety and comfort, and that we can say that this is my pattern. It's not what I choose, but I need reassurance. We can use humor to soften that if needs be, but we claim our difference by saying, I just want to check. I just want to check that you understand. I just want to check that this might not make sense to you, but this is the way it works for me. It would make an enormous difference if we could take care of these details. And so what a lot of people do, a good example is if a couple starts dating, that everyone's wanting to be cool, everyone's wanting to blend, and often people will minimize the fact that actually I'm not okay with that. They'll minimize those differences so that they won't look silly or embarrassed. So one of the core things that you get to do is step into your difference, that I need to check this. I need reassurance around this. I know we see this differently, but this is what I'm going to need from you. This is going to make me feel really appreciated, respected, and so that's the opportunity, is that we can be closer. Now, what happens if you take the lead and you can demonstrate that, okay, this is my difference, this is what I need, and I'm going to talk about it very, very clearly with you. What it does is it then invites other people to talk about, well, what are their needs? And so there can be a form of leadership that comes through something that would otherwise be embarrassing. Now, to get the ball rolling, we have to embrace some of those details around the need for reassurance, and that we can turn what could have been embarrassing into a genuine strength that can then benefit others. So if that's part of, I actually believe that there is so much anxiety around that, and that culturally, men in particular are so embarrassed that when it's not right, it's wrong, and if it's wrong, it's dangerous. I actually have a belief that that actually contributes to, one of the things that contributes to domestic violence is that a lot of these men have some of these obsessional needs for reassurance about things not being quite right, but they feel so embarrassed and are so just culturally not supported in finding ways to discuss that their reactions are just explosively out of control. That's not an excuse, but it's something that culturally and that therapeutically would be a great advantage. If we can find a way of normalizing the fact that you've been triggered, there's a fear response going on here. So where is your need for reassurance? And so that is potentially going to be really empowering for you, but it's also going to give other people the opportunity to step forward to talk about, well, where do they need reassurance? So that could be, in addition to all of your organisational capacities, that potentially can be a gift that you take with you for the rest of your life. So if you're interested in how to normalise that, how to have those discussions, then absolutely we can work on that, and that can be great benefit to you. Or if you know someone that is struggling with that, sometimes they might not be ready to discuss it, but if you have that understanding, then we can provide that love before they're even ready to discuss it. We can desensitize some of those fears in advance, and that can be a lovely thing to offer people as well. So if you're interested in some of those perfectionistic patterns, how we change that from not right, it's wrong, it's dangerous, how do we talk about the need for reassurance, then by all means we can definitely work on that.